Okay, now let's talk about one more application of the match function that can be incredibly helpful to what to say to save time and work more efficiently with lookup formulas. So we are going to jump back to the lookup formula that we wrote in the earlier lectures. So okay, here we wrote. So I'm on the hitting data tab. I'm looking at cell P2. So let us see uh, what we can do on cell P2. And I know you're probably thinking, what else could we possibly do to this function? We have worked on reference types. We have changed different table arrays. We have wrapped it in if error. But there is one last piece that we can automate to save ourselves a lot of time in the future, especially. So if you are going to replicate this function in a number of places, so the piece that I am referring to is the column index number or the number 4. Here you can see, if you can recall, when we first wrote this series of lookup functions, we applied the first function we wrote over to the 5 columns to the right. So we wrote the 5 columns to the right and we applied this function to them. So we applied the formula in column p, q, r, s and t, and the only thing we had to change to update those functions was the column index number. So we changed it the 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, and so on and so forth. Also, we can do even better than that, and we can replace this column index number with a match function that will do the same thing but automatically. So what I'm going to do is, and then delete the 4 here, and I'm going to write a match function. So instead of we giving every time 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we will write a match function here. Change it here. Match what? So look at value we are looking for. So it's going to be the name of the variable or the variable column header that I'm looking for. So the header will be P1. In this case, POS or position. And where I'm going to try to find that in the header row of my lookup array, which is the fielding. Then I'm trying to find this pause from the fielding data, right? So I will switch to fielding data tab, and where I'm going to try to find that in the header row of my lookup array, which is the fielding data entry. So it's going to be fielding data from A through H1. So from A1 why is this? Okay, no problem. Let me write here only. Since it is not allowing me to do that, I will do manually. I will write A1.
Yeah, write
Through
manually.
H1.
Would be fine.
Yes. Through H1. So is the match type and should be 0 and then close the match function. It should be exact match. So what I'll do, I'll keep that 0 in same place, but we have another 0 for VLOOKUP also. So I will write that 0 here. And I will close that function too. So now what I am doing is instead of just saying give me the value from the fourth column, I am saying that give me that value from whichever column in which you find pause in the header row, which in this case would return the number 4 just like we had. So when I hit enter, so you see it that it has populated the right values. No, it has not populated the right one. Okay, should there is something additional thing when we do it for here. So pause. Let me write once again. So if error we look up and we were looking for A2 F4, then that we are going to fielding data. Let me do once again. P, what I will do here. So instead of here, I am writing match. Match sorry. match P1 with the fielding data A1 through H1, and I need exact match, so 0. Okay, so if I press enter, okay, like before I um, press down this for the rest of the cell, let us do one thing. So in order to apply this function down without screwing anything up, I need to make sure that the references what we have given in my match formula are properly set. So right now I just set everything as relative, but what we need to do is if we leave the P1 relative, then if I drag this formula down one row, it's going to try to match whatever values and P2, which is nonsense. Like if I make it as if I make it as relative, this one, then this will keep on changing. Then it will not. I will get a. You saw it already. We will get a other value. So I need to cycle through 4. So I mean I hit twice until I just fix the row 1 now, and I drag this down. It's going to always pull in whatever the header label is in the first row. So the row number will never change. Similarly, regardless of which variable or which header I'm looking for, those will always live in a A1 through. So here also I will make it as fixed, and then here also I will make it as fixed. So I'm going to fix that completely. And then the last piece that I need to do here is fix the A through H reference in the lookup table. So here also, then that way I can drag this for formula down. So here also we have to make it okay. It is already made as fixed. So I'm going to fix the 8th H, and that should be fine. So if I press enter now, so if I drag it, so you can see last time we saw here other, but now it has populated the right values. You can you see now?
Yes.
uh, so this is how you can do. So text is so we have applied down and everything populates correctly. That's great. And now here is the way when I apply this over, I shouldn't have to change anything. It should all update properly. When I apply to these columns, then I need not change here each and every time 4, 5, 6 and all. So it should all update properly. So now what I will do is always take those 4, lie them down. Further, we look up here. I did not. Um, This should change. Sorry, this also I have made fixed. So P is not changing. I have to only make one as fixed. So it is not applying here. It is applying the same values.
Okay.
So you're understanding, right? Why I'm not
Yes,
getting here?
yes.
Because I have fixed the P column. I should not do that. I have to fix only the one, this thing, only the header. That I have to. Okay. What I will do? Okay. Now you can see it has populated properly. So now what I'll always take this fourth line and 9 down. So let us drag this down also. So you can see it has changed to $1. And now if I move to the next one, you can see it will change to $R1, $1, like so on, so forth. Okay. So you understood, right? This one.
Yes, yes.
It's not populating properly. Here also have to make changes. Okay. You can see it has populated same values PPP222. Why? Because we have fixed it this two also. It should change now 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
We have made that also as that one. So it is.
It is showing the same cell.
Yes. Now you can see. Okay. Ah. Now we can see the different values are populated, and this is fine. So let's move to the next topic, that is troubleshooting. Troubleshooting VLOOKUP with duplicate values. If what to do if we get the duplicate values gets populated at that time, what we need to do, that we'll see. Okay, there is no any slide here, so we will do only the practical one. So so there is something wrong in this lookup. So there is duplicate values also. So let us see what to do with those duplicate values. Like what's going on here, like if you go into the fielding data tab in the lookup, this thing, a reference where you will actually see that there are multiple instances of certain player. So you can see here, or brood, some players have same, so some values have same instances. So keys, and the reason that certain play that happens is because certain players may have played in multiple positions even in the same year. So for instance, like you can see here Orbro, and he has in both row 4 and row 4 6. So they are generating the same keys. Key position is not included that key because lookup function is searching for his player ideas, like player key, stopping at row 4 and returning the putouts, assist errors and all. So but these remain see maybe these two instances are identical, but here you can see the combination, it is unique, right? Here you can see they are the in the fourth row there is LF and in the fifth row there is OF. So there is nothing to do. So we'll see that this later how to troubleshoot that. So let's go ahead with Xlookup. Okay, so by the end of this section, you remind me to do this particular, like how to deal when there is a duplicate values in the VLOOKUP.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's move on to Xlookup now. So we have spent quite a bit of time talking about functions like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index, and match, which are Excel's real classic lookup and reference functions. But I have got to share with you a sneak preview of a brand new function that Microsoft just rolled out in late 2019 called XLOOKUP. Now think about Xlookup is that's currently only available for Office 365 subscribers. So if you are using an older version of Excel or a standalone version of Excel, you currently won't have access to this function. So now what I want to do here is give you a quick introduction to what Xlookup is and what makes it different from functions like a VLOOKUP or any other lookup function. And then in the next section we are going to get our hands on and do a full demo in the Excel. So Xlookup is used to retrieve values from a table or range by matching a specific lookup value, just like a VLOOKUP or any other an index and match combo. The difference is that we have got brand new arguments that make this function much more flexible and dynamic than those classic lookup functions. So taking a look at the syntax here, so you can see you have got your three required arguments shown in blue, and then a number of optional arguments as well shown in gray at the beginning of this function. Should look pretty familiar. So you start with your lookup value. You can see here there is a lookup value, like what value are you trying to match, followed by a lookup array where are you trying to find a match for the lookup value that you are giving. And here is where things starts to get a little bit different. The third argument you can see of an xlookup function is the return array, and it's the location of the values mean that you are trying to retrieve. And if you recall with a classic VLOOKUP, you would enter a column index number here or a row index if you are using a H lookup, and you would have to search to the right or below your lookup value in order for this to work. So in this case with X lookup, not only can we retrieve values from anywhere in that table or range, but we can actually return values that can span multiple columns or rows with a single formula. So with the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP or any other formulas, what we did was, it was looking for only particular column or row. But here it will search for entire array, like entire array means whatever you have mentioned in that area it will look. Okay, so it will span multiple columns or rows with a given range, and that's a new behavior called a dynamic array functionality. And it's something that we are going to dive into in depth and a brand new section of the course. Now for optional arguments we have got the if not found argument. So these three are the optional. We have if not found argument, which is basically saying what if my lookup value is not found, what to do if my lookup values is not found in the lookup array. What do you want to do? And this is great because historically when you are writing a VLOOKUP and you need to do this sort of error handling, you would have to wrap your entire formula in an if error statement. So now with a xlookup that's natively built in right here inside of this argument, then you have a match mode, which allows you to specify exact match or approximate match or text based wildcard matching. So then we have the I'm going to show you an example of each of those different match types. So in the coming sections, and then finally you have got the search mode, which allows you to search your table or range top to bottom or bottom to top. So that means if you have multiple instances of your lookup value, you can use Xlookup to find either the first or the last instance. So we discussed about the drawback of the VLOOKUP, that it only takes the first instance. So, but in the XLOOKUP, it will you can specify whether you want to go from the top or from the bottom. So now what I have done here is like let's see what is the difference between XLOOKUP and the VLOOKUP. So what I have done here is put together a little cheat sheet of Xlookup and VLOOKUP, the key features of each and what sets them apart. We'll see that. So quick recap here. So like I said, Xlookup can actually retrieve an entire dynamic array of results with a single formula, whereas VLOOKUP can only return a single value. Next, remember that Xlookup can look anywhere in the array, left or right, or horizontal or vertical, whereas VLOOKUP can only look to the right, HLOOKUP can only look down. So another interesting note here, Xlookup is going to default to exact match, which is what 99% of users are going to use this for, whereas the old VLOOKUP function defaults to approximate match. Like I said, we support that native text to wildcard matching. So this is the, so we have got that built-in error handling in the Xlookup. We can also find approximate matches in a unsorted list, whereas VLOOKUP required sorted list for approximate match. And then again, Xlookup can go top down or bottom up. VLOOKUP only searches top down. So now that we have a good grasp on what Xlookup is and why it is so important, let's roll up our knowledge, and we will see how to see as a practice, like how to practice that. So this demo is a kind of building dashboards with the Xlookup. So we'll see how to build the dashboards with the Xlookup. So we have introduced the Xlookup function. We have hyped it up quite a bit, compared it against the classic functions like VLOOKUP and index match. And now it's time for the fun part. So now let's dig into Excel and actually put this Xlookup function to the test and do this. What we are going to do is build an entire dashboard here, entire interactive scorecard using World Bank data from 2018. It's going to be complete dynamic. uh, Completely interactive and built entirely using Xlookup formulas. So let's go ahead and reset this to our blank canvas. Now we have here blank canvas, like all right, like you can see. So here according to this data, we will have a dashboard here, like we will have a dynamic content here that you can scroll the things, and you can scroll right and left also. We'll see how to do that. So you have got a nice blank slate to work with here. So if you would like to follow, you can follow the same thing. So we have opened up section 5 of lookup preference, and we have opened the Xlookup tab. So you should see some tabs, like we have Xlookup here. So So again, the data we are working with here is from the World Bank 2018, and if we scroll to the left, you will see that we have got one record or row per country. You can see here. So for each and every country, we have one row. So and we are looking what we're exactly looking is and and we're looking at country codes. Here you can see country codes, country name, and regions, plus some really interesting economic indicators or metrics here, like life expectancy, population, unemployment rate, gdp, or gdp in millions. So gross, it is gross domestic product. Now one thing to note here is that this range of data is formatted as a table, and in fact if I click on the table design menu, mm, one second. So you have an idea of where will be the table design menu? Table design menu.
Even I don't know, man.
Export to PDF, pastel, document, smart toolbox, file design library. Okay, please check on this. Okay, no problem.
Click on the home page, and then you will get the option of format as table.
Okay,
Got it? Right.
okay, okay. Uh, okay, no problem. So, okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and scroll over and start working on our dashboard here. So there is no need of any table design here. I just wanted to show you what is the name of the table and all. So no need.
No problem, ma'am. We can
Okay.
continue.
Okay. So the idea is what we are working is to retrieve values or information from our table by matching the lookup value or the country that a user has selected. So based upon the user, whatever he has selected, he should get the graph here. He should get all the GDP, all the this thing, what is the country name, region code, all the details he should get as soon as he select the country here. So in other words, like perfect application for something like an Xlookup function. So let's go ahead and start with our general info here. So I'm going to populate the country name now. You can see here there is a tab, there is a column called country name. So I could just set this equal to cell. So here I will write a formula now. Lookup, like we have opened lookup. First argument is the country name or the lookup value. So what value we are trying to look up? We are trying to look up the country name. So that is cell. So this is S2. So it will take the value from whatever the countries selected. That is S2. So I'm going to use the F for shortcut to fix that reference comma over to my lookup array. So I will this should not change. So uh, every time we are trying to look up the value from this cell only. So what we will do, we will fix it with the help of F4. So you can see it has been fixed. So the second argument is, where are we trying to find that country name? So we are trying to find that country name from this. So, well, our country names live right here in the third column of our table. So, you can see the third column of our table. So, I could just click and drag and create a standard cell reference. So, I can just click and drag that and create a standard cell reference like, uh, but like I can do like this also. I can just give the cell reference as like this, but let us do in another different way. We will not go with this. So we have another way also. I'm going to hover the cursor over the top of that column header until I see the download facing back. And this. One second. It is some problem with the mouse, I guess.
No problem.
It should come on down arrow key, but it is not coming. Mhm. See, now it is acting like this. No problem. We'll go with this style only. We just. Oof. See, now it is not. Okay, no problem. I'll go with this only. Then let's. So this is the lookup array where we want to look that value, and next is to the third and final required argument, the return array, which
Return
is the
array.
yes, which is the array that returns the value that I'm looking to retrieve. In this case, I want the country name which happens to live in the same exact column. So I'm going to make that same selection one more time. So again, I will give the same selection, that is D3 through D207. So if now if I press enter, you can see the Japan has been populated, the country. So it has looked and it has populated the Japan is
Yes.
returned. So let's go ahead and do the same thing with the region equals Xlookup. So here for region also we have Xlookup. So lookup value is this one, and we will fix it. And then the lookup array, let us scroll down, and we have a region here. I think here only the time. And for return array is also same thing. E3 to E207. Sorry. The lookup value is this thing, right? Country one. So Japan, it will look up value. See, that is the main intention of Xlookup. It has to match the Japan with this country D3
Okay.
to D. Sorry, excuse D207, and based on this it has to return this value. So it should first, it will take here in dollar is it one Japan will come, then that value it will compare in this column. So the corresponding value of that is East Asia Pacific, that value resides in this E3 to E207. You are understood, right?
Yes.
So now you can see it has returned the East Asia Pacific. Okay. So next is the code. In the same way, what we will do, we will give the code also. So East Asia Pacific. And instead of this E3 to E201, what we will say? We will say C3 to C207.
Right.
So you can see the, yo, should I placed a placeholder here? So control C, control here C3 to C207. So this is what the Xlookup. Here you can see Japan code, and even same thing here. Here also life expectancy. Which column it is? It is in F column. So instead of E, we will give F, and instead of this thing, you can say life expectancy. And the population resides in G column. So here we will change G, then this thing, and even unemployment H1. So this is the Xlookup. So you understand, right? Like what is Lookup?
Yes.
Okay.
But usually we do not use lookup much, right?
Yes, yes, we will not use. See, like based upon one column, if you want to populate the other column, so based upon the country, if you want to populate other, then you can take Xlookup.
Okay.
Okay. At that time.